What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Miss Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best, and our waving co-host with the bright-eyed smile is James from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel.
Hey,
Happy
hey,
Monday to
hey.
you. Hi. Happy Monday to you. I hope that you are off today, and if you are not, I hope that you are paid doubly.
I am not off today, and I am not paid double. This is not a federal holiday that you get paid double at. Oh, I'm saying we're working at. Sorry, this is not. Yeah, this is not a double paid holiday. I wish it was.
What? It's a federal holiday. Jobs
Not
need
one
you.
that counts. It's not like Memorial or
Not one that counts.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Yeah,
Lord, I take whatever I can get. But we are happy you are here, you guys. I encourage everybody to check the link in the description of this video. It is the only link there, and the first one that you will see. It is to James's channel, the Watch About the Reviews channel. We just got done covering Married to Medicine, as well as the Housewives of Potomac. But he does several shows, a lot of shows from OWN. I have a good time and encourage everybody to go check out his channel. But we are going to get into Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I know I'm late.com, .net, and .org, but it was a very busy week for me this week in general with work and other things. In addition to that, Valentine's Day happened, and that is not just a holiday. That's me and my husband's 17 or 18 years together. So I got surprised and all this stuff. So I apologize for my tardiness, but we're back on schedule. So we start this episode titled Unwelcome Out with Bambi. She got a new house, some sort of apartment, Airbnb, it looked like. And Sierra is coming over to cook. And this is where we learned that Bambi and Scrappy had a verbal agreement as it relates to their kids for custody. After all that arguing, all these people had was a verbal agreement. You would think the way they dragged each other for seasons, publicly, on camera, off camera, with that divorce, that they would have gotten some type of a custody agreement. But they don't. They have a verbal, just like he had with Erica Dixon in earlier seasons. So essentially, the agreement is that Bambi gets the kids during the weekdays, you know, the part of the week where you do all the work, and Scrappy gets the kids on the weekends. It seems that she wants to have an actual court agreement because he changes the agreements, which I'm not surprised with because all Scrappy does is party, and that usually happens on the weekends. So good for you. Go to court. You should have been done it. That's my comment. James. Hi, Shani.
hi, Shani. It kills me when women do stuff like this. Like, you should always have these type of situations documented in court because you don't never want someone to have one up on you in any given circumstances. So yes, it's what mama-in-law says right here. Ghetto is what ghetto does because there's no way that I'm not having no paperwork, especially with someone who is as irresponsible as Scrappy. I'm just saying.
Scrappy been irresponsible since I met my mother-in-law's son. It was a very long time ago. When you really think about it, Love and Hip Hop's been on for a little bit too long. When you
Hmm.
really think about it, but yeah, this ghetto is as ghetto does. That's the best way. We gonna leave it there. We need to put that on a shirt because that's actually clever, clever shade. Moving on, y'all. Yandy and Mendices. James's face as soon as I say their name.
Because I knew they were coming up. That's why I'm like,
Oh, yeah, Dear Mendices, they meet with his son, little Mendices. He's a cutie pie. He's so cute to me. He's just adorable. He still looks like a little kid to me. But the boy don't want to go to college. He is making the money of a celebrity's child. And so he doesn't see the value in college, which normally I would feel a way about. But listen, I appreciate his parents trying to encourage him to go to college. I appreciate Mendices wanting to break generational curses. It's easier to break those when your generation is the one that's making it happen, not his stepmama. But little Mendices is not a bad kid. He's never been in any trouble. He's intelligent enough that he can go to school if he wants. And he has a sustainable, well, not sustainable, but he has an income right now. Should he go to college as a backup plan? Yes, but I'm also a firm believer, and I know my husband feels differently. If I ever have kids, I don't feel like I would push them to go to college. Push them to have a work ethic, yeah, but not everybody wants to go. It's not for everyone. That's how I feel. Looks like Shani said maybe they should take some marketing classes so he can learn how to market himself even better than he does now. And
yes,
maybe some business. That is
yes.
useful.
Yes. My opinion is on that is that I don't feel like college is for everybody. So I do feel like if he doesn't want to go, don't force him to go or don't try to encourage him to go. Let him make his own life decisions. But definitely encourage him that he needs to take marketing classes and business classes. And since Yandy especially is highly successful in business, I feel like there should be some mentorship as well to make sure that he continues on the path of content creating and the things that he's doing and making sure that he's marketing it in a way where it brings in multiple streams of income instead of just the one. I feel like that's what they should be doing. And I feel like for Mendices to say he wants to, he's putting the pressure on his son to break the generational curse. I'm like, well, Mendices, why don't you take your old ass to college and get a degree? That way you broke up the curse so he doesn't have to.
Be the change that you want to see,
Right.
sir.
I can't stand when parents say that. Like to me, I hate when parents say that. I do because that puts unnecessary responsibility on a kid, on your child to do something that realistically wouldn't make a difference if he got the degree or not.
That's the truth. There's also, I think, that generational change that parents of an older generation don't understand that for our generation, and especially the younger kids, like college is not as lucrative and useful. There's not that guaranteed success that comes with going to school anymore. So it's also that, but I'm also a firm believer, like James said, and Shani, classes allow them to understand that there are career paths. You can take classes for things you want to focus on. There's real estate school, there's trade school. There's so much that you can do. If you don't want to go to school traditionally, but still want the degree, you can go online. Encourage them to go in other directions versus just that traditional realm, because he may not want to deal with all of that. Because I wouldn't want to deal with all that comes with the HBCU. They really put them through the works, and the Indian then want them to go to Howard. That boy don't want to deal with that. Shetty said when he did the prank on his father that he had $1 million in the bank, but Mendices was still paying his car note. I was cracking up at that because I would have felt the same way if I was Mendices. I'll pay your car payment and you got $1 million in the bank and I'm living off your stepmama. He said, absolutely not. That ain't funny. But we're going to move forward, y'all. Side note, James, I feel like this is a boring storyline. Put Mendices on the show with some other Love and Hip Hop kids or something, the little one. But if Yandy and Mendices storyline once again is someone else, not actually them, I'm sick of it. Now we see Spice and Amy Luciani go out, and Amy calls out Spice's messiness in working with Bunny Rex, who is the woman that is allegedly Carly's new man's woman, and he cheated on the woman Bunny Rex with Carly Red. The mess sounds stupid. I can barely get it out. So, so Amy tells Spice like it's messy that you're working with her while you and Carly are supposed to be in a good place. And I'm glad that someone says something, because regardless how you feel, if you don't ever want to be Carly's friend again, then say that. But you cannot be somebody's friend without moving like you're their enemy. And that's kind of what Spice is doing. Now you want to manage her up. I just don't understand her like that. So Ashley, Zane's dingbat ass of a wife, she comes in and she decides she wants to discuss her issues that she's been having with Zane and how he act like he's single even though he's very married and all these crazy things. And Spice says something that I think Ashley needed to hear. You look delulu. You look absolutely delusional. You let him do what he wants until it hurts you. Which, if you pay attention to the things that Ashley and Zane discussed together, that is the case. You could stay out till 5 a.m. Just don't cheat on me. You can go do whatever you want with whoever. Just make sure you come home. I don't give a hot damn who you are. You're not staying out till 5 o'clock in the morning and think you're going to roll up into my house and hop into bed with me. No, you're not. So I agreed with what Spice was saying, but now Ashley's acting like she wants to be motivated to do something. How did you feel about all of that, James?
I feel like I can appreciate Amy once for this one time telling Spice how it is, because I felt like, yeah, that is kind of messed up that you would do that. And yeah, if you really don't want to be friends with her, just don't be friends with her. But then when she does some shit to you, when the shit comes on the other foot, I don't want to hear from you, Spice. That's all I'm gonna say. because you are not cleaning this. I just want to make everybody aware because Spice will play that victimhood in a minute. So I don't want to hear it when something happens with you, Spice. I'm just saying. Um, as far as Zane's being back of a wife, let me explain something to y'all. That lady not going nowhere, and she does not care because I told y'all, and this is my honest opinion. I feel like she is holding on because she feels like Zane is going to pop off again like he did in the early 2000s, and she's holding on just in case he does. And I'm telling y'all when putting yourself through all that bullshit, that is not gonna happen. I don't know why. Okay.
Zane will never be in Dr. Doolittle again, Ashley. Move on.
In the Fighting Temptations, everybody is, old and retired now. Ain't nobody can do it. So move on, Ashley. You better off finding it's Atlanta. You better off finding you somebody else.
He is embarrassing though, for her. And we'll come back to that, but he is hell of embarrassing. But at the same time, when you choose to stay, she should have left when a baby that was supposedly with his ex-baby mama came out that he was not the father of, and he didn't want to get a paternity test and the child had the last name. She should have left back then. Now we supposed to feel sorry for you because he acting a fool in London. He's done far worse, darling. So Ashley irritates me. But we did see Carly and Tilo, who looks like a malnourished groundhog just walking around. But this is Carly's new man. They're married. I guess they got married in secret. Apparently they're doing IVF. Listen, I know I'm not a doctor. I only know psychology and social work. That's what I do for a living. Those are the only things I know. But I did pay attention in health class, and I know that they mentioned as women that we go through some called the change, menopause, become menopausal, things of that nature. Is usually when you stop being able to have babies, and it happens at a certain age, and nothing is wrong with it, right? Nothing's wrong with it because who the hell wants a period? But I feel like Carly's age, she should be premenopausal or in menopause. And I'm not saying that as like age shame because Carly Red is like from the beginning of season 1, they've said she's much older than everybody else. So I'm just.
Or let's not negate the fact that you have grandchildren, ma'am. So why would you want to have a baby that's younger than your grandchildren? And not to mention you have a daughter that's in her 30s. So
He
you
has
won't,
a kid.
huh?
He has a kid of his own too. It's not like he'd be a first-time father.
No, and I get that, but I'm talking about her because I don't know him. I don't really care. I'm just saying for him, like for her, like why would you want to start over like that when you can actually order off the senior citizens menu at Denny's? I'm just saying, but that's not my
I
life.
like to call her Carly Keep a Man Red, but Carly has proven that she cannot keep a man because she has a new one every season. There's a difference between being able to pull one and keep one.
Well, it's because the men that she get are some sort of scam artist of some kind.
That's what she choosing.
And it's like, do you not like maybe she's, maybe she doesn't do like the deciphering of a man. Maybe she just takes it as like the sex determines
Her whole career has been around how men view her, even down to being a video vixen and all of those things. So I'm not surprised, but she says she really want to start all over again with kids, and every other season she got a new dude. Right? She cannot keep a man if we constantly see a new one. But she's also choosing the wrong one. And I think that she is going to be forced to date younger men because older men not going to put up with this. Why are you telling people that we married when we discuss not to tell people that? Why are people getting married if they feel the need to keep it a secret? The point of getting married is supposed to be like proclaiming your love out loud to the world. We are together. We're a union, right? That's what I thought it was. And she want to keep it a secret. And he does too, which tells me he got some hoes that he got to put in line before they can know that he married. That's all. Shandy said that's right. Because wasn't it Life Jennings that told her deuces, I'm not with all the bullshit? Yeah. And a
I
couple
forgot.
others.
I forgot she used to be with him.
Mm-hmm. Even young Jock got tired of her shenanigans at one point. And he is the shenanigan that created all the other shenanigans. So I don't know. Do you have anything else to add on Carly in that scene with her and her man?
No, we can move on.
Yeah, she needs to go. I think she's done with this show. She's aged it out. But we did see Mama D. She gonna have surgery on her spine. Scrappy is going to talk with Imani after Mama D's little surgery, and you could tell that Imani does not take her father seriously. She laughed at him when he told her that she's going to have another sibling. And she said that she has no issue with meeting the mother of his, well, I'll call her baby mama number 3, because it's going to be her sibling. The fact that this 19-year-old girl has more emotional maturity and responsibility around having respect for her new sibling's mom and getting to know her, and the fact that she is just accepting. Thank God for Erica Dixon, because that definitely was not Scrappy's doing. James, do you have anything to add?
I feel like it wasn't much Erica doing either, but sometimes your parents are the examples of what not to be, and sometimes you just fall in line of what that is, and you go on a path. You still get traits of them, and sometimes you still do behaviors like them. But yeah, it was very refreshing to see because I worried about her. I did.
I
Um,
think we all worried about Imani,
yeah,
especially when we had to watch earlier.
yeah. But no, that was pretty much it for me. I want to get to this end part.
Because not much happened throughout the episode, y'all.
Right.
Most of this was just little foolery. Jock has Spice over to record a podcast. It looks like he's working from home, basically because Kendra and him having beef, so he gonna work from home. Again, this is a marriage that I'll compare to Sweet Tea and Dr. G on Married to Medicine. I think it's a marriage of convenience, and because people involved in the marriage are too concerned with how they're perceived and they feel like they have to have somebody. That's how I feel. But Jock and Spice get to talking on this podcast, and he mentions that he doesn't like that Spice did an album. She presented him with the idea of a cast album, but then everyone on the album was on the same track, right? And some of the tracks were diss records. It was fights. It was a mess. Like, this Spice album was a joke. You could tell that it was something MTV probably tried to do. The white executives, yeah, let's get back to the music. Yeah, they could have them make an album, and it just does not work out that way. But Spice ends up getting emotional because Jock said cut, it seemed, and she just up and walked away. I don't get why Spice is still on this show. Like, it seems like now that she sees that nobody accepts her yelling and cursing people out, trying to fight no more, that when she don't get her way, she just ups and walks away, doesn't film. And it's like she doesn't need the show either. She has massive success outside of this show in music internationally. So I don't get the point. This whole scene felt chopped up and it was all over the place to me. So I'm gonna ask James's opinion and then we're gonna keep it lit.
My opinion on Spice still being on the show when it seems like no one's really falling for the shenanigans. I feel like it's just an easy check for her to get.
Mm.
I do. I feel like it's an easy check for her to get, and to me, despite how long Jock, Rashida, Scrappy, and who else is on here, and Zane, despite how long they all have been in the industry, she has more mainstream success than they have had. With her being Grammy nominated and her success in music currently and her longevity in it, because we met her doing music and she's still doing music to this day. So I feel like she is one of the powerhouses of the show and they still need one, regardless of the other ones having longevity or them just being known in the industry versus her still working in the industry, might I add.
Mm.
So I feel like that's why she's still here.
It has to be something, and you're probably right because the check is that's a lot of motive for a lot of people, regardless of how successful you are. Money is money. You should always be trying to get it. So we did see Mama D go off for her surgery. All I'm gonna say with that surgery, we wish her well. It's a big deal to go under the knife, especially when you are someone who's older. It's very easy to forget that Mama D is a much older woman, so we wish her well with her surgery, and we're gonna keep it moving because I'm okay, Mama D. Zane comes home to him and Ashley's marital home, and Ashley is packing up, and basically she's getting ready to get the hell out the house. She's done with Zane because she doesn't want to be embarrassed. You should not give a damn what Spice or anybody has to say. You should have left because you felt played with, not because we looking at you like you getting played, right? I mean, that's how I feel it should go. But okay, Ashley. So Zane comes home and sees all of this, and he's immediately like, "What is going on? Where are you going?" And she tells him why she feels disrespected and she feels the need to leave. And the first thing this man did was blame it on Scrappy, because Scrappy was the one who posted a receipt of Zane flirting inappropriately with the young lady while they was in London. That doesn't mean that it's Scrappy's fault that you're in trouble. It's the action, bro. You should not have done that. You're supposed to behave on camera, off camera, all of that. And the fact that you're blaming your friend instead of yourself is ridiculous. When you came on this show trash, Stevie J didn't do this to his wife when we saw him on this show. He played with his baby mama and his side chick jump off, Jocelyn. That's what he did. But you're doing this to someone you actually chose to marry and have merged lives with, Zane. So I'm looking at him like, you suck, but I'm also looking at Ashley like she's stupid. But what ends up happening is he ends up saying that he's gonna leave the house, and he leaves, and she takes back his key, which I was like, girl, why didn't you just go? Why didn't you just go? I would have said you could keep you could keep this funky ass house. I'm gone. That's how I would have felt. But I don't know. James, how'd you feel about Ashley's grand exit?
I feel like this has been done before. I feel like you really aren't setting any type of stipulation or standards when it comes to yourself and your marriage, because there's no way that would have been that damn easy for him just to leave. He didn't even want to fight. He just said, okay, you don't have to leave. I'll leave. You're giving him what he wants, which is the freedom to go out there and do so. Because you know what he can throw in your face now? Well, you threw me out. I thought the
Yep.
marriage was over. So what am I supposed to do now? I shouldn't have any allegiance to you because you didn't want to fight anymore for the marriage. He's going to throw that back on you. This is why Mrs. Betts calls her a dingbat, because this is what dingbats do. The proper way of handling it to let him know that you're serious is serving him with paperwork to say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. And throwing it right in his face. That lets him know that you're really serious about what you're trying to do versus moving out, because that doesn't do anything but give him the freedom, because he obviously thinks you're not serious.
And then you moving out while y'all are already separated, because that's what they did. They said they came on the show and that they are separated, but unfortunately still living in the same house.
Which leads me to believe that y'all two broke to even have your own places. So
yep.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's another thing. Who's taking care of who in this marriage? I mean, are we living off of Lil Zane scraps, or do you have a job, or what are we doing here? What is going on? Because to me, there's not enough explanation in their lives. And when he's talking about he is working, what are you working on? Where is it?
Because all he do is say, I'm a rock star now. He's not making rock music. It looks like you're taking the stereotype that comes with rock stars and the number of women that they get and trying to apply that as a married man. You would actually pull a lot more female fans, saying, if you proclaim like, yes, I'm married, and people could like actually respect that. Like, but instead he leans into the whole face. He comes off as a creep to me. It's a difference between being a dude who's like loose and just will sleep with anything that can breathe or have legs, and just being like a total creep. And Zane to me gives off creep. That's just how I feel.
He just gives being creep that doesn't have a chance in the world.
Damn. And he has terrible skin.
I just don't understand what woman in their right mind actually realistically would give him like the satisfaction. Like, I just don't see it. I just don't. So, but for me, I just felt like she's stupid. He's ridiculous. And I feel like, why are y'all on the show? outside of needing the money, obviously.
It's a mess. It's a mess. But we gonna keep it moving on to the last scene of this show, which was Bambi, Jessica, Sierra, and Carly Red all meeting up in what looked to be some sort of townhouse with a boring balcony. Jessica claims that she's doing IVF, but she's still drinking. I don't like people like this. You're not supposed to drink when you're trying to get pregnant, with or without IVF. You're not supposed to drink, especially like medically, they will tell you do not drink while you're actively doing it. I have done IVF at one point and I was told not to drink. So, and when I did drink, because I had a friend who had a birthday at a brewery, and I told the doctor when I went in to do a checkup, they're like, oh, now you have to start over. And that mess was expensive, so I never started it over again. So I'm like, Jessica, you're not supposed to drink. Why are you doing this? It doesn't make any sense. Then this heifer comes out and says that she has been doing hypnosis. Hypnosis on what? Yes, Shani, that is correct. You basically you do like a series of shots. You check in with the doctor. You can't drink, you can't smoke. You're not supposed to have sex for a certain time. You have to like schedule it, all this extra stuff. It's like a whole process. It was a lot. So I got overwhelmed and just pulled out of it. But I don't have the most motivation to become a parent. James knows. But it was just very strange. I'm like, what did they hypnotize her for? Did anybody catch what she said she did hypnosis for? Like,
No, because it was like she skated around it because everyone kind of was giving her this like face. So it's kind of like she skated around it and then just immediately moved into another subject. It was weird.
I still think this lady is a undercover alcoholic. I'm gonna call her Grand Dame Part 2 in training. Um, that's how I feel because she's never sober, and the stuff that she says, like I get some people are different, but Jessica just it seems like she gets lit and does dumb things.
Or she's trying to self medicate from some
Yeah,
sequence of pain that nobody's gonna really understand because she's
yeah,
not really, to me, I'm not saying she's not honest. I just don't think she's real. I don't think she's real with herself. I don't think she's real with her life. I think she is lost in translation. And it's very sad because she's such a beautiful woman that it makes me really sad for her. And I'm really shocked that no one's really wrangling her to say, hey, like, what is going on? What are you doing?
I feel like people have tried to do that for her, likely like that we don't see on camera, like her actual friends and family.
Mhm.
But I think for anybody that's struggling with addiction, there's some type of pain or trauma that's attached to it. But I'm just getting tired of her existence on this show. I don't get it. Now, Jessica thinks that Carly is only doing IVF because of her. That I think that as women, when it comes to especially like amongst women, we should not fault or make like declarative statements and things of that nature about people wanting to have a child. Even if someone may not be in the space where they should have a child, if someone is doing something like IVF or who has never done it, like don't shame them for it. You also have no right to tell someone the reason that they're doing it. I didn't like that. I don't think that Carly's only doing IVF because of Jessica. Carly, if we pay attention to all the men that she's dated, was more than a handful of all the men we've seen her with on this show. At one point, she was talking about IVF or wanting to have a baby with them. I just think Carly's trying to have her redo of the family she never got back in the day because she was in the video. So I don't know. That's how I feel. So I didn't like Jessica saying that to her. And also, Jessica, at least Carly is not drinking and taking it seriously. If you are going to do it, take it seriously. So for some reason, they move past that. And this is where Sierra apologizes to the ladies for her behavior last year. And I'm looking, I said, this is the mean girl messy crew. This ain't going to go well. I knew as soon as I seen them kicking it, it wasn't going to go well because Bambi's messy. And anytime she's around, stuff pops off if y'all pay attention. But that's how I felt. So we then see Bambi say that she's not cool with Carly no more due to the interviews of Carly saying that she doesn't want her friends to talk to her man. And my thing is, y'all squashed this beef a season ago, and Carly has a right to feel how she wants to feel about her man. Do I think it's extra and coming from a place of insecurity? Yes, because Carly's neurotic and insecure. However, why are you upset at Carly saying she doesn't want her friends talking to her man? She didn't single you out. Why do you care? Do you need to talk to her man, Bambi? Why does that bother you and make you feel attached? Did you like that was weird for me as a whole. So Jessica chimes in, or attempts to, and Jessica's suddenly angry, which made no sense to me. And everybody ends up attacking Carly. And then they got mad at Carly for responding. So, in my opinion, before we give James the floor, it seems as if Bambi and Jessica are the problem. Personally, it did feel like a lot of this was for the camera. If Jessica was serious about IVF, she would not be drinking and she wouldn't be focused on the reason that someone else is doing it. Just focus on her own mission. I'd like to know, Jessica, did you select the sperm donor? Because, you say you do an IVF, but at the end of them shots, something got to go up in you. So do you have a sperm donor? Like, what is going on? I actually, in this situation, agreed with Carly. She didn't really do nothing to them. It seemed like she thought she was coming to girl time, and they decided to find a reason to be upset with her because they have nothing else going on storyline wise. That's what I got. James, how'd you feel about that whole ending scene?
Sadly, I agreed with Carly.
Right.
Sadly, I agree with Carly. I felt like the whole thing with Jessica, once again, it's confusing. We don't know what we're dealing with. And this seems like this is a cry for help that I'm not saying no one's really paying attention to, but no one really knows how to help her through it because her behavior is odd and her moods are erratic. So I don't understand what the hell she's even mad at. The thing with Bambi, and when I really paid attention to it, I got what Bambi was saying, but at the same time, I don't think that that's a reason to really get mad. You just have to understand she's trying to set boundaries in the marriage. She's trying to set boundaries with people because at the end of the day, we live in a society where people sleep with other people's men and women. People disrespect. People feel entitled. So yes, she's setting boundaries and she doesn't want y'all near her man without her presence. And I can understand that too. So that's why I said I agree with Carly there. I just felt like they just want a reason to have beef with Carly because she's an easy target to have beef with. Mm-hmm. But I would stop being available for them to have beef with me. It's point blank and period. That goes for Jessica. That goes for Bambi. And hell, that goes for anybody else, Spice included.
That's why I want Carly to leave this show. Because you could tell that Spice included, everybody just wants to beef with her to have relevancy. And if you remove her and she's not there to attack, then what do they have to give individually?
They're just going to turn on each other. That's just what's going to end up happening. They're going to turn on each other.
Hot mess. But that was it, you guys, for this episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Again, my sincerest apologies for being late. It was not James's fault. It was all my fault. But now that the holiday is over and all of those things, we will be back again tomorrow for Love and Hip Hop Miami, and again on Wednesday for Beverly Hills Housewives and Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. We're going to do the late Housewives video now. Subscribe to James's channel. Links in the description, and I'll see y'all later. Adios.